Ooh, hello, hyperspace. My name is Davontos, and it's time to get hyped because this is another Davontos Thoughts videos. That's right, I just put on some random gameplay. This is actually from the Modern Warfare beta or alpha, I'm not too sure. It's really old gameplay. And then this video is going to be kind of long, as you can see, about like, what, 20 minutes, something like that. And the second gameplay is just from some old game that I happened to stumble upon. You might remember it, called H1Z1. I got a couple of videos saved from there. I'm just going to use those gameplays as, like, random rambling videos or Davontos thoughts or something like that, just so you guys can enjoy watching something as you hear me blabber on about whatever I'm blabbering on about. So, let's see, what should Davontos talk about today? How about I can answer a lot of frequently asked questions. Now, the most frequently asked question Davontos has asked most frequently is, who is Davontos' waifu? Well, according to the weeb nature and the weeb rules, you can have multiple waifus based on the different genres. I would say for Boku no Hero, my best girl was Himiko Toga. For anime in general, I do like Tatagi-san and Nagatoro. Nagatoro's going to be an anime coming out, I believe, in March. But I do like Tatagi-san's design, and Nagatoro kind of has a similar design to Tatagi-san. So, that's why I like Nagatoro. And obviously there's Diva from Overwatch. But I would say best girl for me? I would probably go with Himiko Toga, because there's a lot of aspects and personality traits and just everything about Himiko Toga that I really like. I like her her backstory is interesting. I really like her design. And her personality, I like her personality too. Don't mind the gameplay. This is like bad gameplay, because it's way back in the early days of Modern Warfare, back in the Alpha or whatever. So, I don't really know where to go with this video. I actually just booted up the video, put on my mic, and I'm just going to start talking about random things. Let me see here. I can also answer some other frequently asked questions. Like, is gaming dying? No. No, not by a long shot. Gaming is actually getting more expensive. I mean, you heard that little shenanigan going on with Xbox Live, like $120 a year. But, gaming is getting more... How can I say this? Because of Corona, it kind of died down a little bit, which is why Cold War, Black Ops Cold War, is the way it is. It's not as... It doesn't have as much content as Modern Warfare. So I would cut Treyarch some slack on that, because they're kind of working throughout Corona, or COVID, whatever you want to call it. But gaming is not lying. There's a lot of games coming out this year. There's a lot of games coming out basically throughout 2021. There wasn't really too many things happening last year, again, because of COVID. But this year, they got themselves together. There's a ton of games coming out for a lot of platforms. Nintendo, PlayStation, I believe Xbox. I'm not really too familiar with Xbox. I don't really keep up with that. I mean, it's a scam. I've always said Xbox is a scam, and you see what they did a few days ago with the $120 a year. I knew it. That won't be the first time. They're going to try something else. You just watch. Davontos is always right with these things. I was right calling Banjo and Smash. I still think Shantae's going to make it in Smash. I was right calling Treyarch a big scam. I was right calling Xbox a big scam. Davontos knows his things. I already know Xbox is going to do something else to screw up. That's why I don't keep on track with Xbox. So, another frequently asked question. Let me see. I'm looking through a little list of things that I'm asked quite a bit by you guys, or just something that pops into my head and I can answer. If I were to reboot an anime, this is actually a really fun question, because I'm pretty sure you guys may know this, but Davontos likes to write short stories. Not necessarily, I mean, I could write long stories too, but I prefer keeping it short. If I do write a long story, I gotta be, like, devoted to it, but I am a writer. So, if I were to reboot an anime, what would it be? So, I would reboot an anime that kind of went unnoticed, but had a really good story behind it. And that would actually be Interview with Monster Girls. That one was actually a really good anime. Now, it sounds like something that's going to be ecchi or something that's going to be kind of weird, but Interview with Monster Girls was actually a very light-hearted, very simplistic, yet fun to watch kind of anime. And as far as I know, there was just one season. Now, I would suggest you watch that if you want something like a very simplistic, wholesome slice of life anime, with a couple of funny moments here and there. Now, I seen that anime quite a while back. I don't really remember their names. I remember the characters, I don't remember their names, but it was really good. And the way it started was interesting. It was kind of mysterious, because it basically puts a human in a world full of monsters. And when I say monsters, I mean things like, vampires and succubus and doulahins and stuff like that, and it just makes you think, this vampire is going to go and kill people and so on, and you wind up finding out that the vampire is actually not a bloodthirsty monster, it's just a human who's trying to live as a monster, trying to live in a human world. And they add a lot of interesting twists to the anime, something you don't really expect, and that's actually what made it really fun. So if I were to reboot an anime, it would be Interviews with Monster Girls, give it a season 2, try to keep the story flowing. Now, in order for me to actually tell you how I would keep the story flowing, I have to tell you everything about the first season, but I don't want to do that because I would suggest you guys to watch it, and I don't want to give any spoilers. But, one quick little spoiler I can give you is there's a little bit of romance in it, a tiny bit, so I would pick up on that on the second season, specifically with 2 school teachers. So, let me see some other frequently asked questions. Let me see, where's my list? Here it is. Is college a scam? Yes. College is a huge scam. I can go into deep detail with this. I can probably make a dual commentary with somebody else who can help me out with this topic, because this is such a big issue, and it's such a big scam. We can go on about this topic for hours. So this college scam thing, let me touch on this a little bit later. I'll see if we can do some dual commentary with someone else and who can also touch on that topic, so we can get 2 people's opinions on the whole college issue. But just keep in mind, Davontos sees that college is a huge scam, so just, be careful when it comes down to college stuff. How does Davontos feel about being self-taught? Yes, I actually feel like being self-taught is better. I mean, obviously, granted, there's some things that you need to be, educated on by other people. You have to be taught by other people. I cannot talk. Being self-taught can be very effective. It has its ups and it has its downs. It has its advantages and it has its disadvantages. There are some topics where you have to be taught by others because you may not have the full understanding. But then there are some other topics in which you are capable of getting the full understanding by yourself, when it's something, very easy, like animals. You can study animals, you can be self-taught on animals, you don't really have to go to college to be an ornithologist or a zoologist or something like that, because you can just look up that stuff yourself. But when it comes down to other things in which you need help from others, let's say like medical school and stuff like that, that you might need to be taught by a professional or someone who knows what they're doing, because medical is kind of risky. You gotta know what you're doing, you gotta have advice from a pro, you gotta see this artery or this heart. I don't know much about medical, but you get what I mean, right? When it's something that's very complex, you need help from a professional. But it's something that's not complex, you can do that self-taught, like animals. I mean, Davontos knows a lot about birds, a lot about animals, and I just basically self-taught myself. Now let me pause this, but get myself together before I start stuttering like a weirdo. Give me 1 second. What animes is Davontos watching? Well, Davontos is currently watching quite a few. Let me actually check out my queues, because I know I got a few animes set up on my queues, but at the moment, I know I'm waiting for Dragon Ball Super Season 2, I guess, whatever it's going to be called. I heard it's going to come out sometime this year. I'm waiting for that, because Davontos grew up watching Dragon Ball, just like basically everybody else. And then, let me see. There's Attack on Titan. Now, I'm not too sure what's happening with Attack on Titan. I know what's happening with the manga. I think the manga is already finished, or almost finished. But with the anime, I'm not too sure where they are on the anime. So, I'm probably going to wait a little bit longer. But, speaking about Attack on Titan. Get ready. Some people going to be getting triggered. So, Davontos is probably not going to continue watching Attack on Titan. Here we go. Brace yourself. People going to be getting mad. People going to be getting mad. I can smell it. Okay, so, why isn't Davontos going to watch Attack on Titan? It's because of what they're doing to 2 of the characters. Mikasa. Everybody knows Mikasa. She was the Attack on Titan waifu that everybody loved. And Armin. Armin is that blonde dude. Within the English dub, he kind of sounds like Krillin from Dragon Ball. So, let me start off on Armin. I believe it's Season 4. Armin, in Season 4, they kind of have a time skip, spoiler alert, but they kind of have a time skip. And, Aaron's older, Armin is older, Mikasa's older, everyone's older. I don't know how old they're supposed to be, but they look much older than they did when the series first started within Season 1 and 2, and I guess probably 3. So anyway, Armin, from what I've seen, Armin looking kind of feminine. Now, you know how Davontos feels about the LGBT nonsense. I said nonsense, get mad. So, I don't know if they're trying to make some little hints here and there about this LGBTQ alphabet society or whatever the hell they want to be called. But I don't like how they're making Armin look like a blonde chick. And, I mean, Armin's not even the least of your concerns. I'm talking about Mikasa, number one. Dude, Mikasa looks more manly than Eren. Mikasa looks more manly than Levi. Hell, Mikasa looks like some damn JoJo character. So, I don't know what I'm going to do with Attack on Titan, because there's no way I can actually sit there and enjoy a good story. You know, me being who I am. I can't sit there and enjoy a supposedly good story when I'm seeing transvestites and clowns running all over the place. I can't see Mikasa as this motherly person with this female voice, yet she looks like damn JoJo. So I can't I can't do it. So I don't know if I can watch Attack on Titan. I'll give it a shot. I think it happens on season 4. I'm gonna watch the first few episodes of season 4. If I can't do it, then I'm done with Attack on Titan. Because same thing I said, I cannot keep a straight face, and I cannot take the series seriously if you got some transvestite dudes over here like, Armin. I know he's not transvestite, before you get mad, I know he's not a trans, it's just his design. But it's just the way he looks. I mean, Dragon Ball I can deal with, because like Zarbon, you know, Zarbon was supposed to be gay, but he did it in a funny way. And you know, Davontos, I find that faggot shit hilarious, which is why I love poking fun at them people. So, I can deal with Zarbon because he was fitting the role as a clown. I can feel it with Whis, you know, Beerus, Whis' little... the angel that's with Beerus. Because he doesn't really talk much, and though he looks gay, he doesn't act gay. I can live with that. And on top of that, you know, Dragon Ball is more of a don't take me too seriously kind of anime. Watching Dragon Ball is kind of like watching Godzilla. You know it's stupid, but you just watch it for entertainment. So, Attack on Titan, especially with that Mikasa, I can't do that. I know Attack on Titan is supposed to be serious because it got people blowing up and turning into soup like after every 5 minutes. So I know it's supposed to be serious, and I know the character is supposed to be serious, that you have some person there who's a lady, who's like a JoJo character, who's guarding a dude who's supposedly one of the most powerful titans ever, but yet this JoJo guy is, like, motherly with a female voice. I can't do that. I'll give it a shot, but I highly doubt I can pull through. So anyway, well, let me go check out my queues. Okay, so I'm also waiting for My Hero Academia Season 4, I believe it is. And I know the comic book is almost finished, and the series should be rebooting sometime this year. But looking at my anime list, if it loads, I also saw, what was it called, Demon Slayer? I still gotta watch the Demon Slayer movie, but I seen the Demon Slayer anime, it was actually pretty good. Nezuko? Yeah, Nezuko seems pretty cool. I wouldn't say Nezuko's like waifu material, but Nezuko, she seems pretty cool. And what's that dude? Tanjiro. I actually think Tanjiro's a better character than Nezuko. Maybe because Nezuko is really quiet and she doesn't really have a lot of screen time. But Nezuko, she's fine. Tanjiro, find him a little bit better. And for some reason I can't load my anime list, so I can't tell you guys any other animes I want to watch. It's not loading. But okay, yeah, it's not loading. Oh, whatever. Let me continue without it. Okay, so other animes I want to watch. I've seen a couple of other animes that people are making a huge fuss about, like Plastic Memories. I've seen Plastic Memories, everybody was saying the anime was so good, it was so sad and all that shit, but I watched it and I was kind of just like, meh, it was okay. I don't see what was so sad about it. I mean, it's about a robot who falls in love with a human and then gotta be reset, pretty much. I don't really see anything sorrowful or it just wasn't good. I didn't really like it too much. And then I saw Clannad is like one of the old ones. I love Clannad. But let me try loading my anime list one more time, because I know I have animes in here. I just don't remember what their names were. Give me 1 second. Let me click on this. The internet's on. Okay. It's taking a while to load. Why are you taking so long? Okay, whatever. I was also watching one that was called... what was that called? High Score? Yeah, like a video game, a top high score. It was called High Score Girl. Oh, perfect, it loaded. Okay, so High Score Girl, it was okay. It was surprisingly, it was actually anime created by Square Enix, which is the same people who make Final Fantasy. But High Score Girl, it was okay. It was something just to watch like once, maybe twice if you feel like it, but it wasn't that good. And then I still gotta watch that Demon Slayer movie. I can't find it in Japanese, I only find it in Chinese, and it's weird because they're speaking Japanese, the subtitles are in Chinese, and then the English translation translates from the Chinese. So the names are changed. And the weird thing is, the Chinese translates Nezuko's name from Nezuko to whatever the hell they call her in Chinese, but the English subtitles pulls those Chinese characters and calls Nezuko house soap. You know, like soap to wash your hands, house soap. So you have Tanjiro talking to Nezuko, and instead of him saying like, "Hey Nezuko," you read the subtitle and it says, "Hey house soap." So I can't watch the Chinese sub because it just completely throws me off. And they don't call them Demon Slayers; they call them Ghost Hunters. So it's just really weird. I want to find another movie, another place for movies. Oh come on! I just had the thing loaded. So, Demon Slayer movie got to get to. Boku no Hero got to get to when it comes out. Dragon Ball Super Season 2 coming to that. And, I have actually the Kangawa Jet anime on my queues, which I want to get into that too, because the game I played last time on stream, that was actually pretty good. And give me 1 second. Let me pause this, because I see I'm running close to the 21-minute meter mark. So I'm going to put another video up, so I can continue talking to you guys. Give me about, like, maybe... Well, for you it's going to be instant, but for me it's going to take, like, maybe 3 or 4 minutes to set this up, so I'll be right back. Davontos has returned! Okay, so other animes that I'm watching. I'm actually watching Love is War. I think it's really funny. It's not hilarious. It's not one of the funniest animes I've seen, but it's actually pretty funny. I actually like, what was her name? Chica? Yeah, Chica's pretty cool. I like the little dance that she does. That became an internet sensation, but you know what I'm talking about. And then there's actually another anime I haven't gotten into yet. Let me see. What is this called? Gekkan Sojo Nozokai-kun? I think that's what it's called. But that anime is like a rom-com. Davontos actually likes rom-coms, like Toradora and stuff like that. So that one, the story is... Basically, there's this manga artist who's the most popular manga artist in, I believe, all of the world. And this lady falls in love with him, and she tries to confess her feelings to him. But he's so dumb that he thinks she's just a fan. And, you know, like a #1 fan that likes his artwork. So they kind of build a whole story around it. I haven't seen it, but that's what I heard from the trailer. And it sounds pretty interesting, sounds pretty funny. Especially with how what they showed in the trailer. So maybe I'll get into that in the future once I finish Love is War. And let me see. Let me look through this chart and see if Davontos can find some other asked questions. Let me see here. Give me 1 second while you enjoy this old school Battle Royale gameplay. That's right. I think H1Z1... No, it's not older. Well, technically H1Z1 is older than Fortnite, but the Battle Royale section in H1Z1 is not older than Fortnite's Battle Royale. Back in the day, H1Z1 actually was a zombie survival game, and then thanks to Fortnite, they turned it into a Battle Royale. Okay, let me see. Ah, here's a perfect one! How does Davontos feel about Cartoon Network? Now, instead of me tackling Cartoon Network, I'm just going to tackle cartoons in general. Cartoons way back in the day, like when I was growing up, it was much better. Even cartoons, you know, predating my time, like in the 80s and so on, because Davontos is a 90s kid. Back in the 80s, the cartoons were better. Back in the 90s, the cartoons were good. And the early 2000s, I feel like the early 2000 cartoons, they're still pretty good. It's with the current people these days where the cartoons are very... how can I say it? The cartoons are they're too soft. They're very soft. Because, like, what was it, Steven Universe, I believe it was called? It's like, now in Steven Universe, you have to include this LGBT nonsense. Because if not, the people are gonna feel uncomfortable. And it's like, back in the day, they didn't care. You know, like Bugs Bunny. Let me use Bugs Bunny. Back in the day, Bugs Bunny was literally poking fun at everything. If you were gay, Bugs Bunny was gonna make fun of you. If you were a Christian, Bugs Bunny's gonna make fun of you. If you were straight, Bugs Bunny's gonna poke fun. It don't matter what you are. Everybody is vulnerable to Bugs Bunny poking fun at you. But in these days, you know, I know they have Bugs Bunny available, you know, in Cartoon Network or wherever it is. I know Bugs Bunny is still out now. But And these days, Bugs Bunny can't poke fun at the faggots because they're too sensitive and you're gonna get angry. So he has to keep it like, you know, childish insults, or basically like, the comedy. It's just not funny anymore. Which is why when Animaniacs was announced to come back, you know, I was really excited for it because I grew up watching Animaniacs when I was a kid. And Animaniacs, like Bugs Bunny, they were always shitting on everything. You know, you were gay, they poke fun at you. You were straight, they poke fun at you. I didn't see the anime reboot, but I'm hoping it's similar to how it was back in the day because it was just better. Even the story. You know, even comic books. I also grew up reading comic books and manga, but comic books back in the day, they were much better. You know, they had all this blood, they had all this gore. You saw, let's say, like Wolverine taking off his claws and ripping apart his victims. But in the comic books these days, it's all about like love and peace and this guy and who does my fiance cheating on me with my sister? It's all that nonsense. And I know why they include it, because everybody wants to be represented and all that nonsense, but it's a cartoon. You know, if you're doing something like a movie and you want a gay guy to play a role because you want to satisfy the gay community, then by all means do that with your movie. But it's a cartoon. We know it's fake. We know it's supposed to be for entertainment. So if it's supposed to be entertainment and it's fake, why the hell are you guys getting offended by the cartoon insulting you? That's like the same thing I say. Bugs Bunny pokes fun at gays and you get angry at the damn rabbit. Like, what the hell is this? That's why I don't understand today's society. That's why you see I still poke fun at the gays regardless. Like, if you don't like what I say, don't listen. The same thing with cartoons back in the day. And it's like, a lot of even SpongeBob, man. I watched SpongeBob when I was a kid. I'm talking about like the old SpongeBob. I mean like when Sandy was first introduced, and when SpongeBob was first hired for the Krusty Krab and all that. You know, I watched them SpongeBobs and they were funny. Patrick was a moron. It was hilarious. And the SpongeBob now is not funny. It's stupid. And it's like, it seems kind of kiddie-ish. It's not because I'm older, because I can still look up on YouTube on them old cartoons of SpongeBob and it'll still be funny. But I'd look up at the new cartoons and it's just stupid. It's the same thing with Looney Tunes, with Bugs Bunny, and the same thing I said before, like Steven Universe. And I know a lot of people saying, what was it? I think it's Steven Universe or Adventure Time, something like that. But one of them, people are saying it's really, really good, but if you guys think Steven Universe or Adventure Time is really, really good now, you guys should have watched the things that we were watching back growing up in like the 90s. Those 90 cartoons were good. Granted, the art style wasn't really that good, you know, like Captain Planet. Let me use that for example. I know that cartoon's kind of cringy, but the art style back in the day was similar to Captain Planet. But it wasn't the art style, it's the story. Because you can say the art style for Captain Planet, if you take a still image of Captain Planet and you put that kind of art style next to a still image of Steven Universe, the art style in general for Captain Planet was better than the art style of Steven Universe, because Steven Universe, they overall, they just look like blobs. But Captain Planet, they were humanoid drawings. You knew what was what. Like, Adventure Time. I'm not too sure on the characters of Adventure Time, but I know there's this princess, I think she's a vampire, gothic, something like that. But she's like bone skinny, she kind of looks like a mop wearing a dress. But you have Captain Planet or He-Man and stuff like that, and they look like humans. So, just like if you're watching anime, you feel more connected to the characters because you feel like you're actually watching these humanoid characters instead of these weirdly shaped, deformed blobs on the screen. I'm not saying these blobs on the screen can have a bad story, because the characters isn't the only thing that plays a role in the story, but you would feel more connected if the character was something you can relate to, which is why anime is what it is. That's why anime is so popular. Because you can watch an anime, let's say like Darling in the Franxx. That's a perfect example. Darling in the Franxx. You have Hero, you have Zero Two, and everybody loved them because they liked Zero Two's motto. I mean, we've all seen people with horns before in cartoons, so we can relate to Zero Two. It was a unique design. Hero was kind of like the captain of his squadron, so that's kind of different. That's unique in anime. Not really unique in anime, but that's something different we don't really see in romance. So, it's like, it was something people could have related to. And because of that, people started growing close to the anime. They started liking Zero Two, they started liking Hero, they started liking the plot, because it was something that was never done before. And if it was done before, it wasn't done in a way that Darling in the Franxx did it. But coming to the end of the series, there's going to be a spoiler if you haven't seen this, coming to the end of the series, they wind up including aliens, and it just takes a whole left turn, and nobody sees it coming, and they kill off the protagonist, and Darling and Hero basically become a tree, and then their ancestors fall in love under the tree. It's some weird shit that don't make no sense. I hated it, a lot of people hated it. But the reason why they hated it is because it took this huge left turn, this big twist that nobody saw coming, and they just couldn't relate to it anymore. It's the same thing with cartoons today. They could still be good, but you just can't relate to it the same way you can relate to cartoons back in the day. And even if you can relate to characters from Steven Universe, you won't be as connected to them. If, let's say, Steven, or whatever the protagonist's name was, imagine if Steven actually looked like an anime character, it would just be much better. There's a whole bunch of memes on the internet, like they take Ed, and Eddie, and then they turn those characters into anime guys, and it just looks much better. It's still like that. You know, you feel more connected because of just the way they look. And cartoons I grew up watching? Believe it or not, the very first anime I've watched was... I think it was Pokemon. This was like way back in, yeah, again, the 90s when Pokemon was on public television. Now it's on cable, but back when Ash first got Pikachu, that's when I grew up. I remember watching the first episode of Pokemon, and I used to watch the original Dragon Ball where Frieza has that weird, scratchy, witch-like voice when Captain Ginyu hands Frieza the massive Namekian Dragon Balls, and Frieza's like, "Oh, look at these Dragon Balls, I want to caress them." I actually grew up seeing that Dragon Ball. And then, you know, they wind up changing it up, and Frieza sounded more like a woman, then they changed it up again for Kai, and Frieza sounds like how he does now. But I'm just saying, like, the ones I grew up watching the OG Dragon Ball. I used to see, well, I grew up watching the OG Dragon Ball Z, and I also used to watch Dragon Ball when Goku was a kid. So there was Dragon Ball Z, I saw Dragon Ball GT as a kid, I saw watching some Pokemon, I saw the first season of Pokemon from Pallet Town with Mewtwo, I saw the second season, which is when, who was that artist? Tyler? Terry? Ty? Tracy. I remember when Tracy was in and he replaced Brock, everybody hated Tracy. And then I also saw a little bit of I think what was it called, the Sino region. It's the one that has Palkia, Dialga. I believe that was the last one I've ever seen. Other than that, I kind of just like dropped Pokemon because the characters started getting weird, especially with black and white Pokemon. Growing up, I do remember I used to watch a little bit of Sailor Moon. Not much, but I used to watch a little bit of it. I knew some of the characters. I don't remember their names now, but I remember there was this weird... How can I say this? I would call it a weird romantic connection between two cousins. But then I found out that that was a mistake during the dubbing process. But it doesn't make it any better. But anyway, what other animes I remember watching? Oh, cartoons I grew up watching, Ed, and Eddie, SpongeBob, as I said before. Some of you guys might not remember this, but there was a cartoon, I believe it was on Cartoon Network, that was called Cow and Chicken. I used to watch that one too. I used to also watch Cat Dog. I remember back in the day, Cow and Chicken was funny. Also Rocko's Modern Life, but I watched a few episodes of Rocko's Modern Life and I just kind of became stupid, so I just stopped watching it. It was the same thing with Cow and Chicken. I watched a few episodes of Cow and Chicken, I just kind of got stupid, so I just stopped. Let me see. I used to watch a couple game shows back in the day. I used to watch Deal or No Deal. I used to watch Fear Factor. Fear Factor was really good back in the day. And also Wipeout. Speaking of Wipeout, Fall Guys is very similar to Wipeout. So if you actually YouTube, what was it called? I think this show was called Total Wipeout. If you watch that, you'll see it's very similar to Fall Guys, but it uses real people. Basically, you're watching Wipeout right now. So let me see. What other shows that I used to watch? With anime, I remember they were always pushing Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know what Yu-Gi-Oh! They're up to now, but the one I remember seeing snippets of was the original Yu-Gi-Oh! The guy's name was Yugi, and I think he was dressed in blue, and he had some weird brown gold hair, and then he had like the blue eyes, white dragon, something like that. That was like the old Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know if they still show that, but that's the one I remember seeing snippets of. I never really liked it. And I also used to watch, Sonic X, right? You guys may be familiar with Sonic X. It kind of resurfaced and became popular now. But there was another Sonic cartoon that I used to watch back in the day. I don't remember what it was called, but it used the old design of Sonic. You know, when Sonic's kind of fat, it uses that design of Sonic. And this was even before Amy the Hedgehog was in the picture, because Sonic was kind of after another brown hedgehog girl. And I forgot what that Sonic was called, but this was when Dr. Eggman was called Dr. Robotnik, and his two henchmen were like a fat robot and a chicken. And you may be able to find it, because I know it appears in a lot of YouTube poops and a lot of internet jokes, but that was the Sonic I grew up with. And then later on in the line, that's when Sonic X came along, and that's when I added Chaos and Shadow the Hedgehog and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm talking about like the old cartoons way back in the day. I used to watch those things. But now, I don't really watch a lot of cartoons. I mean, I told you why. Cartoons are just like, they're too sensitive on the insulting you kind of topic. They don't want to get into that, and I just find that very stupid, so I just kind of watch anime, because, hell, anime tackles it whether you like it or not. So that's why I like anime. And, speaking of Sonic, I used to be a huge fan of Sonic when I was growing up, man. I used to have Sonic on, I used to have some Sonic games on the GameCube. I used to have some Sonic games on, I don't think I had Sonic on my Nintendo 64. Or, I'm not too sure if I had Sonic on my Super Nintendo, but I know I had some Sonic games. I think it was on the Sega Genesis or something like that. But for whatever reason, I used to be a huge, huge Sonic fan. And then, you know, over time, I kind of stopped playing Sonic, and I got more into, like, Mario and simulation games like Story of Seasons and Rune Factory and Animal Crossing and stuff like that. And then I was just curious, and I went back to Sonic. I wanted to see what Sonic was like. And then I saw they started adding all these weird characters. Like, the last new character that I was actually part of, that I saw their full story, was Shadow the Hedgehog. That was Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I remember that. That was when Shadow appeared, and he was using the Chaos Emeralds, and he was standing on top of the robot, and Sonic called him a faker and all that stuff. That was actually the last Sonic game that I was, how can I say this? That was actually the last time I was a dedicated Sonic fan. But then I kind of left it, as I said before, went to other games, and I came back to Sonic. When I came back to Sonic, they had all these weird characters you ain't even seen, like a Silver the Hedgehog, who I think he's supposed to be like Mewtwo, like what the hell? And then they added Chaos. I knew Chaos, because Chaos was also part of Shadow's legacy, or Shadow's game, whatever. And then I knew Amy, I knew Knuckles, Tails, obviously. When they started adding this weird looking crocodile, I don't know what his name is, but for some reason he's an alligator, and they added this not blue, what was he? I think he's supposed to be a damn firefly. That he's red, he's small, he flies around, and he kind of looks like Knuckles, but just without the dreads. And he's weird. They're adding all these weird Sonic characters, not to mention the Sonic fan base. The Sonic fan base is some weird people. You know, it's like, I know there's not all of them are like that, because some of the Sonic fans they're pretty casual, but I mean, like, some of these hardcore Sonic fans, they weird, man. They got some freaking vor fetish. They got some weird freaking foot fetish, and it's like, it's understandable if you got like because, you know, people, it's mostly dudes, but you know, we like our own things. Some guys like feet, you know, some guys like that, but if you have a foot fetish, don't you think it would be more appropriate to have a foot fetish for, you know, like a lady in real life? But no, the Sonic community got some freaking foot fetish for Tails. You say yourself, what is this? And you freaking see, you go to like you can just Google Sonic the Hedgehog, and these pictures will be popping up off Google of like a fat ass Amy who just ate like Dr. Eggman and Knuckles, and then she's sitting down with this big ass belly, and you see Sonic and Tails looking up at her like, oh, what's this? And I'm guessing that's kind of some kind of fetish, because there's so many pictures of that. Like a fat ass Amy, or fat ass Knuckles, or fat ass especially Rogue the Bat. Everybody loves Rogue the Bat, and it's just like, these people are weird. And Sonic's became very cringy. Because you have, what was that game? Sonic and the Black Knight, I believe it was called. I don't know if that game was good, I don't know if it was bad. But for some reason, it's like, you would expect Sonic to be fast. That's what Sonic is. He's fast, he runs around, he saves the day. But now you have Sonic playing the role of, like, night in Camelot. And you have the, what was it, the Werehog Sonic? Sonic Unleashed, I think it was called. Now Sonic turns into a werewolf and he's not fast. It feels like the game creators are running out of ideas and they're doing whatever they can to try to keep Sonic alive. And they're even going off and trying to create other, well, Sega, I should say. Sega's going off and trying to create some other games because I'm guessing Sonic is going downhill. And I don't know why they should have made these changes. They should have kept Sonic simple. Look at Mega Man. Mega Man has always had the same simplistic design and story, and it works. Just recently, they released a Mega Man, I think it was called, what, Mega Man 11? They're already at the 11th iteration, and when that Mega Man came out, it was huge! And everybody loved it because Mega Man, like Mario and Sonic, is one of those classic video game characters. Sonic is kind of falling into the same realm as Pac-Man. When Pac-Man came out, everybody loved Pac-Man. Pac-Man was all over TV, Pac-Man cereal, Pac-Man soup, Pac-Man spaghetti. And over time, Pac-Man started doing these weird things, like his version of Mario Party and all that, and it kind of took a dive. And then ever since then, Pac-Man's been trying to resurface, and he just can't do it because he just became cringy. Now granted, you know, Pac-Man and Smash, but that's a completely different situation because it's Smash Bros. Sonic is doing the same thing. Sonic's trying all these weird things like Sonic Racing. Why the hell does Sonic need to race in a car when a dude can run as fast as sound? So anyway, it's like they're putting all these Sonic... Give me 1 second. Okay, they're giving all these Sonic titles and making them do all these weird things that don't make no sense, and it's kind of making the series take a nosedive to the point where you just can't take it seriously, and the only people who seem to like Sonic now are either the hardcore dedicated fans or these people who use the Sonic platform for their weird, bizarre fetishes. And it's like, if you take a casual Sonic player, like me, I was a casual Sonic player, we just can't get into it anymore because it's just not Sonic. It's just cringe. That's kind of like, let me take a popular character who's known to be... Okay, like Hatsune Miku, right? Hatsune Miku is a popular anime character, and you know Hatsune Miku to be a singer. You know, all of Hatsune Miku and her cast for like Luca and Rin and all that stuff, they're all known to be singers. So if Hatsune make games, they're going to be singing games. She may make a spin-off here and there, maybe she's going to make a Hatsune Miku dancing game, which still falls within the singing game realm. She may make a Hatsune Miku racing game, which is a little weird, but I'm sure the fans will accept it. And then they're going to make a Hatsune Miku fighting game, which is kind of going a little off limits, but I'm sure some people would accept it. But it would come to the point where Hatsune Miku is going to be making Hatsune Miku fighting, Hatsune Miku racing, Hatsune Miku tennis, you know, Miku Mario Party, Miku swimming sports, Miku at the Olympic Games, and it's going to get to a point where it's just not Miku anymore, and it's just weird. Because you're used to seeing her sing, but then here she is participating in like the 2021 Olympic Games. And it's not going to make any sense. And then next thing you know, they wind up making next iteration next year, and Hatsune Miku turns into a vampire, and you have freaking Luca over here turning into a butterfly, and you have Ren who turns into a werewolf, and they go out and they try to fight some giant evil monkey. It's not going to make any sense, and it's going to push a lot of the fan base away, and that's what's happening to Sonic. That's why I just don't like Sonic no more. Well, anyway, this was a weird rambling video. So if you liked this video, punch that like button with a mighty force. You can follow me up on Twitter at Davontos Man, where I troll people. And as always, I'll see all of you whenever I upload again. This was kind of a weird video. Anyway, have a nice day.